Good afternoon. At the outset, let me make clear the facts and matters regarding this missile launch by North Korea today and the Japanese government response. At approximately 9:49 today, it appeared that North Korea launched a missile which it calls a satellite, as North Korea announced on the 1st of this month. It is estimated that the missile, which North Korea calls a satellite, passed over Okinawa of Japan at approximately 10:01. Information we obtained has been immediately disseminated to our people, local public authorities, and media organizations through EMNet and J-Alert systems and other means. It is also estimated that the first rocket fell to approximately 200 kilometers west of the Korean Peninsula in the Yellow Sea, and the second one to approximately 300 kilometers southwest in the East China Sea, and the third one to approximately 300 kilometers east of the Philippines and in the Pacific Ocean. All this related information was provided to the Prime Minister immediately after the launch, and the Prime Minister entered the Crisis Management Center at the Prime Minister's office and gave the following 3 points of instruction. 1. Conduct information gathering and analysis by the ministries, agencies concerned with a sense of urgency. 2. Make every effort for the provision of the information to the public. And 3, take all possible measures to prepare for any contingencies. And immediately after the launch, Government of Japan convened a meeting at the Prime Minister's office by Directors Generals of the relevant ministries and agencies. And the government is taking all possible measures while thoroughly following the Prime Minister's instructions, which I read out now. Also, the government convened the Security Council approximately at 10:50 this morning. Although it is estimated that the missile, which North Korea calls a satellite, passed over Okinawa, no falling objects within the territory or in our vicinity has been identified as of now. Also, the destruction measures by the Self-Defense Forces, SDF, was not implemented this time. And indeed, the government of Japan, together with the other relevant partners in the international community, have strongly and repeatedly urged North Korea to exercise restraint and refrain from conducting the launch. So the launch by North Korea, despite such efforts, is a grave provocation from the security point of view, as it undermines the peace and stability in the region, including Japan. Also, the launch is a violation of UN Security Council Resolution 1874, which demands North Korea not conduct any launch using ballistic missile technology, as well as other relevant UN SCRs, such as Resolution 1695 and 1718. It is also inconsistent with the presidential statement of Security Council issued after the launch of the missile on April 16th this year. Furthermore, it is against the spirit of the joint statement of six-party talks of September 2005. From these standpoints, the launch is intolerable to Japan, and Japan lodged a strong protest to North Korea and deplores the launch. In particular, in case of Japan-North Korea government-level consultations were held in November this year for the first time in more than 4 years, and the second round of the consultation was scheduled to be held early December this year. So in this context, the launch is extremely deplorable, as it not only is violation of Japan DPRK, Pyongyang Declaration, but also goes against the recent development of dialogue with North Korea towards resolving outstanding issues. So Japan urges North Korea to immediately and fully implement all these relevant UN SCRs. And on this occasion, Japan once again strongly urges North Korea to take concrete actions towards resolving outstanding issues of concern, including abduction issue, nuclear and missile programs. And the government of Japan will take the following measures for the time being, while taking every possible means to ensure peace and security of our country and the safety of our people. Those 3 points are: 1, we confirm whether there have been any damages caused by the launch, including falling objects, focusing on the areas judged to have been flown over by the missile. 2, make every effort for information gathering and analysis, including forthcoming moves by North Korea. And 3, given that the launch is a clear violation of UNSCRs, strengthen collaboration with the United States, the Republic of Korea, China, and Russia, and promote coordination with other relevant parties and the international community, including through ensuring that UN Security Council will take actions accordingly based on the presidential statement in April this year. And in fact, soon after the missile launch by North Korea this morning, the Japanese permanent representative to the UN, Tsuneo Nishida, requested that the UN Security Council immediately discuss the launch by submitting a letter to the President of the United Nations Security Council, that is actually Morocco, the permanent representative, at 10:15 a.m. Tokyo time. That's 10:15 a.m. this time in Tokyo time. That's all from me now, and we'll be happy to open the floor for any of the questions from the international media attending this conference. Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Can I ask you, when did you go? Sorry. Okay. Check. Okay. When did you initiate the Japan alert and the Mnet? Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry. Working? Yeah. Okay. Hi, my name is Katsuro Nagai, the Cabinet Counsellor for National Security and Crisis Management of the Cabinet Secretariat. I'm happy to answer the question. As for the JRR, I think the first message, which is to the people in Okinawa, has hold on, let's see, we'll find out. Where is it? There's a chronology here. All right. It's at 9:55 a.m. Which the content is as follows. It's that the launch. It seems that there's a missile launch from the North Korea. That's the first message from J Alert. That's to the people in Okinawa. On the case of Mnet, I think it's the first message was delivered at 9:54 a.m. The content of the message is as follows. I think the missile, which North Korea calls a satellite, has just been launched on the direction of south, and we will inform the additional news if we are to have it. Thank you.
Thank you. Khaldun Azhari, Parliament News. I would like to know, did the missile or satellite pass over Japan territory in terms of atmosphere? And if that's the case, why didn't you intercept it and destroy it? Why did Japan didn't do that? And secondly, do you think that the sanctions against Korea is a failure, because the more you apply sanctions, the more they do such tests, and including nuclear tests? So don't you think that the dialogue is better than the sanctions for diplomacy? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'll happy to take the first question, which is the possibility of conduct destructive measures against missiles if they are to flown over our territory. Actually, the destruction measures ordered to our self-defense forces would be initiated only in the case in which the missiles or the part thereof would be flown onto our territory. So in that particular sense, so as soon as we found out that it would just fly over our territory without any damage or without any influence over our territory, then that's why that the destruction measure was not being in effect.
And as with sanctions.
With regard to your second part of the question regarding the sanction versus dialogue, I think there's a long history of North Korea developing nuclear weapons and conducting nuclear testing. And as a result, we have a series of UN Security Council resolutions starting with 1874, which bans North Korea any utilization of ballistic missile technology. So this is a starting point of this unfortunate development, and we would like to seek what kind of effective and valid measures we could take in light of the latest launch of a missile based on the United Nations Security Council presidential statement issued last April. And in this statement, at the last paragraph, I'd like to remind you that there is a mention that United Nations Security Council will take appropriate actions in the event of further launch or nuclear testing. So we know, we appreciate the value of holding dialogue with any partner in the world, but in this context, it is a fact that we have these series of United Nations Security Council resolutions.
Patrick Solnoy, Zürcher Zeitung from Switzerland. As far as I understand, Japan and North Korea don't have official diplomatic relations. So what are your channels of communication with North Korea? And in absence of these relations, is there any way you can make pressure on North Korea? I know it's a diplomat's job to protest, to condemn, but is there anything else you can do?
With regard to the communication channel with North Korea, as you may know that we have the so-called embassy channel in Beijing, and this is a channel we utilized this time to lodge a strong protest to North Korea immediately after the launch at 10:14 a.m. today. And also, as I mentioned, that there is a series of United Nations Security Council resolutions, and also in addition to the presidential statement. So the United Nations is a fora where we can collaborate with other partners so that North Korea will abide by its past commitment and obligations.
My name is Eleanor with the Dow Jones Newswires in Tokyo, and I had a question for you, Mr. Nagai. I wanted to ask, this time it was a successful launch, and how do you see, the technical advancements in terms of what North Korea can do? How do you see that?
Okay, thank you very much for the questions. Of course, that the assessment of the missile itself is take time. We cannot. We have to analyze whole variety of informations on a comprehensive and also professional manner. So in that particular sense, we are in the process of making analysis on those informations. So that particular sense, we cannot call it whether it's a success or failure or any sense. And also the technological advancement as well. It seems that the range was a little bit larger or extended, I should say, than the last time. But as a matter of fact, but other than that, of course, we have to again make a very thorough analysis on this particular matter. So I cannot tell this moment whether it's a technical, well, the level of technological assessment advancement on this particular missile. Thank you.
Michael Pan of the Shingetsu News Agency. I saw mixed reports on whether or not the rocket put a device into orbit or not. What is your current understanding about whether or not at the end of the process something was put into orbit, or did it fail to do so?
Again, okay, I'm happy to respond. Again, that we are aware of the report about the possibility of actually that the North Korea was able to put some object into orbit. And we are aware of the report, but of course, as I said in the last question, that it takes time to make thorough analysis of what actually happened. And so that at this moment we cannot comment it's whether it's successful or unsuccessful. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I forgot to mention some specifics answering questions to which venue we should pursue. After the launch, we already immediately contacted our American friends and in Washington and in Tokyo. And today, 11:20 for 15 minutes, our Parliamentary Vice Minister, Mr. Kazama, held a telephone conversation with Mr. Kurt Tong at the American Embassy regarding the launch, and also a little while later in Washington at 11:55 Japan time, our ambassador to the United States, Mr. Sasae, held a telephone conversation with Undersecretary for Political Affairs at the State Department, Ms. Wendy Sherman. And we also discussed the launch. So, and we agreed, basically agreed that to continue to closely cooperate at capitals as well as in New York on what action to take, including at the United Nations Security Council on this matter. Thank you. And also, we also contacted our friends at in the Republic of Korea as well. Thank you.
And also, I would like to add that domestically, Prime Minister Noda had phone conversation with the Governor Makoto Nakai of Okinawa, and shared his intention that we will continue to conduct a reconfirmation of any possible damages while taking all possible measures on this matter. That's for your information. Okay, thanks.
Hi, Yokomiku to German Embassy. The fact that you immediately were able to inform the Okinawa population and also by Mnet, your people and institutions, tells me that you, by satellite means, immediately saw or identified the launch. So can you confirm that this launch was from the site in Dongchang-ri? And did you use your own satellite or any other satellite? So how did you get this immediate information? Thank you.
Okay. Right. This probably should be the right one to answer the question. Again, the question is probably twofold. One, which is of course, we have identified that the missile was launched from the Tamchali, the missile launch site, at the time of that we had a variety of information. And probably the second part of the question is how we get that information. Of course, that we cannot tell all the intelligence information as well. But again, that including all those information, including the intelligence sources, we will find out at the time of the launch that actually that the missile was launched.
Sorry, you just confirmed that it was Dongchang-ri?
Dongchang-ri.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dongchang-ri or surrounding areas. Of course, it's a matter of how you call the place. But again, that we didn't confirm at the time of the launch. Of course, as soon as we found out the launch, and we had credible information about what actually happened at Dongchang-ri.
Mr. Petit from the French Embassy. So it's a bit more precise question. And okay. Foreign press. It's just after It's very simple question.
Well, happy to.
In fact, in April, there was a debate because the Japanese government was not able to confirm the launch with its own means. So this time, can you tell if Japan could use its own detection means or if it was informed through the US and Koreans?
The answer is, of course, we cannot confirm any kind of intelligence information. Of course, all the diplomats here should know. But again, as a matter compared to the April, we have learned a lesson, a lot of lesson learned from what happened in April, including the timing of the delivery of the information to the public, and that's why we in this particular today's case we were able to confirm. And again, it's also the matter of improvement from our side, but also the orbit of the satellite or missile are different from the last time. Last time was seemingly exploded right after the launch, so that our own radar system was not able to detect at the time of the launch, whereas this time they are relatively successful. I don't say successful, but it was relatively successful in launching their missile to the orbit. So that's why that we are able to detect it at the early stage. So that may be the reason of the difference.
And I'm Mari Yamaguchi with AP. Some analysts are saying that there might be two different rockets, and the one that earlier was reported to be having some technical problems were put down, and another one hiding somewhere came out and was launched. What is your analysis about that? And if that's the case, do you expect another launch over the next few days, or within a week, or by the end of the launch window?
Well, I should say that, of course, we are aware of the report. But again, we couldn't confirm at this moment any information of that sort. So probably we will not be able to comment on that particular report itself. Thank you.
So are there any questions from the press? Okay.
Thank you. Azhari again, Panorama News. You mentioned that Prime Minister Noda talked to Okinawa governor about this issue. Did he say that it's time now for Okinawan people to stop rejection of the American bases because there is a big danger from North Korea? I mean, do you think now North Korea is very dangerous, that Japan should increase its military power and depend on itself more than before in protecting itself? Thank you.
Well, as I said previously, the Prime Minister will just convey his intention on this issue. I mean, the missile launch at North Korea, which happened this morning, and that is to say that the government of Japan continued to conduct the reaffirmation of any possible damages, because it, as I said, it flew over Okinawa. And also, what the Japanese government will continue to take all possible actions on this matter. So that's all of the contents of the conversation between them. Thank you. Please.
You talked about first that this goes against the recent development of dialogue between Japan and North Korea, and I was wondering what effect today's events would have on bilateral consultations in the future.
I think this is very difficult. We cannot predict any impact of the launch on the government-to-government dialogue between Japan and North Korea. And but at the same time, actually, Foreign Minister commented this morning that the impact is unpredictable, and we shouldn't prejudge the impact. But we hope that, strongly hope that North Korea will take a path of dialogue to solve the outstanding issues between Japan and North Korea. And they should not take action in violation of the Japan-North Korea Pyongyang Declaration. And they shouldn't take action that will seriously contradict the relevant United Nations Security Council resolutions. So in that sense, we hope that North Korea themselves will live up to its past commitment and international obligations. So it's we are not at the stage to say something about the impact.
Any more questions? If none, with this, we would like to conclude today's press briefing. Thank you very much.